Can everybody hear me? Yeah? Fine. Well, I'm from the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. I started 7 weeks ago, so forgive me later on in the Q&A if you ask me specific questions around accountancy. I might have to signpost you to later on, but we'll just start with that. Now, who are we? We are the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. We represent 500,000 members across 81 countries. 300,000 of them being students who are currently working for their degrees around the world, and 200,000 professionals. We cover both the SME sector, and we cover FTSE 100, FTSE 350, and about 60% in the UK of our members are working in the small, medium-sized enterprise sector. Now, accountants, sustainability, how does that work together? Since 1990, the ACCA has been involved in driving the sustainability agenda on our members. The driver to this are our members, because more and more inquiries to accountants, not only in the UK but worldwide, actually came and asked, where do we go for this? Where do we go for carbon footprinting? What's happening with my water consumption? And we wanted to take it seriously and basically develop some capacity and expertise around this area, which is why I'm standing here today, so that we can move this forward. What skills have we got? Well, we're obviously very, very well versed in financial auditing, in assurance, in risk management. And what we really want to try to do to convince to our members is to take these skills they've got in financial reporting and put them over into the sustainability arena. An obvious one when we talk about sustainability reporting would be carbon accounting. We are calling for a mandatory carbon accounts sometime in the future, the holy grail, because we believe if that's climate change is an issue we want to address and companies need to respond positively to that, we need to have something we can measure and actually compare across different sectors. We are also going a little bit further in our sustainability accounting debate by actually maybe looking at water footprinting, and dare I say ecological footprinting, the embedded carbon of the products and services that our members and hopefully the wider business community are looking at. But coming back to sustainability reporting, non-financial narrative reporting is not a requirement in the UK so far. In 2006, the UK Companies Act put a clause in which said that directors should consider the environmental and social impact of their operations. We personally think that's a fantastic first step, and a number of companies have actually taken this seriously. But if you go outside the FTSE 100, who's reporting on these things? Who's taking them really seriously and putting it forward? That's something that we, as an accountancy body, would like to communicate to our members and the wider business community. We see real value in actually doing that. And where does sustainability reporting fit in? Well, if you look at the corporate managerial cycle of planning, doing, checking, and acting upon it, the sustainability reporting is the checking. And I do think, when I earlier said that we are calling for mandatory carbon and sustainability accounts, whether that is the Global Reporting Initiative, ISO, whatever the global standard will be, in order to be able to compare and not put one country or one business into a disadvantage, we need to all report back on the same things depending on the cycle of your development, where you're at, and then put that forward for scrutiny. Because not everybody, what we found, wants to read the financial accounts, especially NGOs, consumers, and others. They want to look at the narrative reporting. And we believe our members can do a lot better in actually doing that. That's why we're here providing, hopefully, the expertise to put that forward. I've also been asked to give examples of reports which we think are very, very good. I have to mention Virgin Media, actually, my colleague here who will talk to you in a lot detail a lot later. Why do we like this report? First of all, it's material. They've really looked at where's our greatest impact. It might not be environmental, it might be social, or it might be economic. So let's look at where we have the biggest impact. 2, let's create a baseline, something you can't measure, collect data from, you can't measure, you can't report against in the years to come. Very important to set the baseline. The report does that as well. Absolute targets, if and when required. Obviously, we've heard earlier on, climate change, big challenge. To take that seriously, reductions will need to happen. So we obviously would love to see absolute targets, whether that's energy, whether that's waste, staff turnover, to actually be reduced. Then, of course, stakeholder mapping. in order to have credible sustainability reports, you need to really demonstrate that you've listened to all your stakeholders and not say, we've taken a stakeholder approach, and then in the foreword, the chief executive says, dear shareholders. Yes, they are a very important stakeholder, but they're only one of many. So I guess that's what we want to communicate. Then very important, but I would say that coming from ACCA, third-party assurance. If you're confident in your data, surely third-party independent assurance to put to the world, whether it's investors, analysts, the communities that you serve, that you're doing your bit and you're trying to get better. That's something we would like to get across as well. And last but not least, if you don't want to read a very heavy, thick report, why not make it available not only online, but a lot more reporting, detail and analysis. Virgin have done that, and the other two examples I'd like to mention, if you wanted to have a look, I come from Denmark, so I would mention Novo Nordisk. Novo Enzymes, go to their website. It's incredible the amount of detail that you get just looking online, never touching a piece of paper. And the other one is called Natura, which is a Brazilian pharmaceutical company. They are examples. They've been there for a long time, but however, they really take this seriously, and that's something to at least aim for. You start small, but that's something to aim for. I want to end by talking about the challenges to sustainability reporting. What we find from polling our members is that sustainability is still not at the heart of corporate strategy. I won't go into details, but all the previous speakers have all said, in order to make this viable, it needs to be as important as financial return on investment. And we are not seeing that that is happening fast enough, depending on the challenge that we are facing. So that's one. Two, where's the small, medium-sized enterprise sector? Nobody has really cracked how the backbone of the UK economy, which is the small and medium-sized enterprise sector, how do we get them engaged? The 1-2 woman/man band companies that are as important as a FTSE 100 company, because to crack that sector would be a huge progress. We cover 60% of that particular sector. We want to do our bit to talk to them, to listen to their concerns and put forward best practice. Standards. Whatever the standard is that's going to be adopted, it's important that it's being applied coherently across markets, ideally across countries, dare I say global, so that we can really compare different market sectors with each other. It's not just, I'm doing one thing, company X is doing something else. They think they're right, I think I'm right. We're both maybe wrong. We need something to compare it. And last but not least, this is an opportunity, we think, for businesses to take this forward. Sustainability reporting doesn't have to be scary. If you are open around the weak spots, that could actually work in your favor. We're obviously not prescriptive. We would never tell our members what to do, but maybe it could be an opportunity. And the more case studies we get for people that opened themselves up, the more we can hopefully convince more of our members to actually take this seriously and see it as an opportunity and invest in the resources, put it at the heart of corporate strategy, where we at ACCA believe it needs to be. But without mandatory legislation around this, I think we'll be here in 10, 15 years' time, and that's not progress. Thank you.